One people, one voice, one purpose, one choice. Time to put your thinking caps on. Time to put down all your technology, all your gadgetry, all your mundane, minimal idiosyncrasies. Those things that do no more than to deaden the mind that you never use. For example, I give reference to myself. I could, like anybody else, being disabled, being unemployed, sit in that complacent position of pity party, feel sorry for myself, blame it on everybody else, blame it on white society, blame it on ghetto America, blame it on the government. No, I don't. What I did, though, I went back to school. I acquired a childhood dream. That is to work in the field that I love. It's like I oftentimes said, we are born for a purpose here. There are those who are born artists. There are those who are born physicists. There are those who are born nanophysicists. There are those who are born to be president. There are those to be born politicians. There are those to be born teachers, ministers, governors, dictators, hatred, warmongers. Because that is the purpose of life. And you'll probably be sitting there and grinning and smiling and saying to yourself, where's he getting at? Where am I getting at? I tell you where am I getting at. What really matters to you? Because when I look on YouTube, I see the same mundane, empty-minded things that I've always seen in this country, that we sensationalize. Women with big tits. Guys acting stupid. Thinking that seeing people hurt themselves, seeing people mentally abuse themselves, that's funny. Or even cartoons that use adult innuendos. That's funny. What happened to the ethic and moral fiber of this country? What happened? What happened to men and women who actually care about children, about their education, about their well-being, about the safety of their surroundings? What happened to the people who actually cared about one another? Neighbor to neighbor, across the street behind you, you could walk away from your house with the door wide open. Nobody would break in. Because those around you actually cared. Actually had neighborhood camaraderie, love for one another. There was no hatred. They didn't care whether you were white, black, blizzy, or gray. You were a neighbor. We shared each other's sorrow. We shared each other's adversity. We came together, had block parties. We came together in death of loved ones. What happened? Now our neighborhoods have decayed. Now our communities have decayed because they're drug ridden. Because this upheaval of gangs, thug mentality, and this is not just certain ethnic groups, it's all of them. Why has criminality and the sensationalism and love and making criminals heroes rather than those who possess ethic and moral fortitude? That we find ourselves so hooked into our gadgetry on the trains, on the buses, on the streets, in our cars, in the airports, in our schools, in our colleges. In every pathway of life, we see the addiction of technology and gadgetry. But we see the decay of the camaraderie of our human existence. And I talk about this because the recent class I took was IPC, which is interpersonal communication, had opened my eyes, even about myself, how I interact every day. I mean, what do I have in my hand? Pretty much I don't even use my cell phone because my cell phone is pretty much just for me to keep in contact with my kids. I don't have a lot of friends that chit-chat for hours on the phone with me because that's not who I am. I like deep, in-depth conversation. Probably pretty much the reason why I don't have a lot of those friends that call and just talk about mundane foolishness and gossiping and drama, because I'm not into all of that. But what I'm saying is, America, what's really important to you? What's really important? We have radio shows, talk shows, and they sit there and mundanely, redundantly, every day talk about the same stupid ass subjects of gossip about celebrities, filthy, idiotic lives. That's important to you. Watching soap operas for hours about infidelity, about lust, and just the downtrodden, unethical immorality. But that's important to you. Shows about some girl with big tits and a big butt, her life, about a marriage that didn't mean anything to her, and another pathetic man who was married to her. He's like a little girl crying about what was done to me. This is my point. If you didn't use this before you married her, all of a sudden now you want to use it to divorce her. She was an eccentric, self-shallow, empty, stupid-ass woman when you met her. And you think, what? This is what I'm talking about. This is what we see in our society as success. This is the proverbial American dream. That we have to waste time out of our lives in front of some idiot tube or on our laptops, iPads, iPhones, widescreen TVs, flat screen TVs, bedroom, basements, family rooms, and watching idiotic, mundane shit like this. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Cesspool of shit. But however, the depleting educational system for our children, the percentage gets lower and lower. The unemployment rate for our mothers and fathers who take care of those children is getting higher and higher. The banking system, Wall Street, military, government is making billions and billions of dollars hand over fist. We send more money overseas to fight fabricated wars, coups, taking resources from other countries, calling it our own, like we did in the beginning, robbing more people of their resources than we care about American people themselves. What have we become? And I come to every American house today. I don't care whether you live in ghetto fabulous America, trailer park America, gated, exclusive Romney communities, even all the way up to the White House where our president lives. It's time to think. We don't need another talk show. We don't need another night show. The era of Johnny Carson. We don't need another Oprah Winfrey. We don't need another Kardashian. What we do need in this country, though, is people who are willing to stand up with the steel in their back and address real issues that really plagues this society. Like the issues of why we waste $4.2 billion on child tax credit fraud to illegal immigrants from Mexico. That their children don't live here, but we send our tax rebates that we received illegally to Mexico to take care of them. Not adding to this economy here, but taking away. Mr. IRS. Why we spend so much money on drones that kill innocent men and women and children, like we're playing a video game. Why we sit there and debate why our children are being killed by the thousands by godless, mundane zombies with weapons, and the infrastructure that makes these weapons receive no accountability. We make excuses. We cover up. Like we did with Wall Street. Like we did with Watergate. Like we did with the Iran-Contra affair. Like we did with the Bin Laden conspiracy. Like we did with the 9/11 conspiracy. We are so intently obsessed with this plausible deniability that yes, the American people have become mindless zombies. We have become unethical, immoral, sex crazed, with the filth and garbage of the media. This is our entertainment. The pornography, the books of shades of gray, on the top seller list, that some fools want to talk about filth, obscene sexual perverted activity. That's more important to you than your children not receiving a decent education, or the multi-thousands of dollars they're going to have to pay to get higher education. Why? Why, mind you? We don't have scientists. We don't have physicists. We don't have those who are inventive of technology for the future, because we're too complacent worrying about the filth and garbage on our TVs and computer and iPods and iPads. That's what I'm talking about. When this decays, whether it comes from the White House, whether it comes from the governor's house, governor's mansion, the mayor's house, even down to the local politician's house, when this dies, society decays. I don't care how many inspirational speeches you put out there, how many tears that drops from your eyes after the fact. See, this is the fact. There's two ways you can live life: proactive or reactive. And pretty much in this country, that's what we do. We're a reactive society, not proactive. We don't prevent shit. We just wait till shit happens, and then we react. Just like when those 20 kids were just brutally and mercilessly killed. It was no proactivity. Like, why this asshole had assault weapons in the first place in his house from a highly educated, socially accepted woman of high self-esteem. Or why some idiot walked into a Sikh temple and did pretty much the same thing. Why another idiot, and has no ethnic or cultural excuse, because it covers everybody, white, black, grizzly, or gray, who just randomly walks into a spa and just shoots people. But yet and still, our quote-unquote protectors, Homeland Security, Police Department, FBI, this man had a history, like the guy who walked into the Sikh temple had a history of a white supremacist group. But yet and still, mind you, what the problem is in this country, nobody wants to accept responsibility for their actions. That we rather, once everything is said and done, make a book, make millions from it, off of the victimization of innocent people. Make them heroes. Make a movie about it. That's what I'm talking about. Reason why the criminality in this country never changes, because we make heroes out of them. We make movies out of them. It's like when the organized crime back in the day, Godfather movies. We sensationalize, make heroes out of criminals. But those people like John Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, those people we forget. Why the youth today, and proof that we sensationalize and glorify criminality, what do they call themselves? Gangsters, thugs, pimps and players, baby mama drama. We can get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people pregnant, and we wear it as a badge. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And when we look at YouTube and we see the exact same examples of what I'm talking about, it's not the things that of heartfelt, soul-felt passion that you care about people, care what happens to people like I do and others that get attention. What gets attention is the immorality and unethical bullshit out here. And let's not forget our leadership, whether it's black, white, grizzly, or gray. You are procrastinators. You become complacent. You become hypocrites. You become masters of inspirational speeches that makes us cry, that makes us hug each other. But when it's all said and done, there's no transition. Just like there's no transition after the president has his emotional speeches in this country. And it's not just him. It's right in our own communities. No transition. It's the same. If all these emotional speeches, if all these tearful speeches that we raise our hand and hallelujah, glory, like TV ministries, if all of this collectively comes together and was supposed to do what it's meant to do, we will see the depleting of ghetto America. We would see the depleting of trailer park America. We would see the depleting of unemployment. We would see the depleting of gangs and drugs. We will see the depleting of a corrupted society in the banking industry on Wall Street. We would see morality and the ethical fortitude of people becoming more prevalent in our society, not less. So who are we? And I go back in reference to the video that I made before. If you found a country on a lie, if you found a country on unethical, immoral foundation, if you found a country on hatred, on ethnocentric, mundane ignorance, isn't it what it's going to become? Isn't it? So you sit back in your house today, tomorrow, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and seeing the decay of education, seeing the decay of your neighborhood, seeing the decay of your society, seeing the decay of your government. And when it all begins to crumble around you, I'll ask you again, what happened? When you see your children dead on the street, when you see your children dead in school, you see your wives dead in spas, when you see your wives and children dead in malls, when you see your children on playgrounds dead, I again will ask you why. When you see your church doors closed, when you see your Bibles burning in the middle of the streets, when you see your spiritual leaders run like cowards and hide away in their gated communities, flying away in their private jets into seclusion in their homes in some plush Caribbean island. But they take your money every Sunday to feed their selfish indulgence. that they call God's message, then I still will ask you why. When you see your black leadership constantly knock on your door asking for donations, plastering videos on YouTube, on the web, about their success of complacent self-preservation of their careers in political venues, while you see that the neighborhood's decaying with more drugs, more gang wars, more loss of life of our sons and daughters, with the mentality of uneducation, of ignorance, calling themselves niggers, bitches, and hoes. When we look in redneck trailer park America, we see the same incest. We see the same abuse of women. We see the same of filth of unemployment and ignorance and the hatred of people that they fear who have come and received more than they have. When you look in gated community of the ethnocentric mentality, that only our way counts, only our community counts, only our politics count, only our money counts, only our opinion counts, then America, nothing has changed. Tell me, what has changed from decades and centuries ago? Nothing has changed. We still, redundantly, plea and implore over TV, feed hungry children in poverty in the richest country of the world. I'll say it again. We still plead, beg, and employ to feed children who go hungry, like they do in third world countries, in the richest country of the world. And I ask you again, who are we? When will it hit home? When will you realize? When that mushroom fills the sky and there is no more? When armed foot soldiers of a military state comes knocking on your door? When your hands are blood-stained with the blood of your loved ones, will it then? Will we still watch mindless garbage on YouTube, on our TV sets, in the movies, on our iPods, on our iPads, on our laptops? Will we still indulge in pornography, titty bars, perverted priests molesting children and calling it religion? TV ministers making millions upon millions of dollars while they preach to those who are poor, starving, hungry, homeless. Who are we? One people, one voice, one purpose, one choice. I'm out.